What can I say about Captain America other than I loved it? I have not said that about a comic book movie. I have not said that about a superhero movie in over 5 years. And within 5 years, there's been comic book movies I've enjoyed, but not loved. And Captain America really exceeded my expectations. I basically went in with very low expectations for this movie. I did not think Chris Evans would be able to pull it off, and I also questioned the people at hand essentially making the movie a period piece by having it mostly be in the 40s. Well, pretty much everything was just peeled away from me layer by layer, showing how wrong I was on so many levels. And like I said, I can't speak highly enough about this movie. Now that said, there are quibbles that I have with this movie. There are characters that are brought in that I think ends up hurting the characterization of some of the characters, because I won't go into it too much because I know I'm going into spoiler territory, but these characters that I think, while I kind of understand why they were brought in, it kind of brings up bigger questions. What I'll do though is I'll put that in a blog, and for those of you that have seen the movie, that know what I'm talking about, maybe you'll address the blog, and for those of you who don't care about spoilers, maybe you'll check the blog out as well. But aside from that, Hugo Weaving, who I thought did an excellent job with his role, I felt kind of was let down a little bit by having to put on the Red Skull prosthetic makeup. You know, Hugo Weaving without the makeup was a very, very menacing presence. And when you see him as the Red Skull, I think it detracts from his character more so than it adds to it. But all in all, you know, it was a very solid performance. I didn't think it was as trend-setting as, not trend-setting, trailblazing. I didn't think it was as trailblazing as Tim Huddleston's Loki or Michael Fassbender's Magneto. I choose never to use the long E pronunciation of his name. But for what it was worth, I think Hugo Weaving did an excellent job. Haley Atwater as Peggy Carter, I thought she gave a very solid performance. I think the only thing that took me out in the beginning from her performance was that, to me, she bears such a striking resemblance to Scarlett Johansson. I really had to look upon her for a little while to make sure that wasn't Scarlett Johansson. And I've noticed other reviewers kind of giving her a little bit of a knock, but I thought she did very well. She never came across like a hanger-on or like an appendage, like I've noticed with a lot of ladies who have played girlfriends or wives or potential or potential love interest. She kind of, held her own, and given that it was the 40s, to me it was even, more impressive. Now I thought there was a little bit of emotional resonance was lost by replacing the Nazis with Hydra. But for every quibble that I have with this film, the heart of this film makes up for it exponentially. And I really can't speak too highly about this film. And Chris Evans has really impressed me with this role, because I kept thinking prior to entering the theater and going back to when I first heard that he was being cast as Steve Rogers, I went in with the expectation of damn near halfway expecting him to say "flame on," and I can tell you that from the first moment that Chris Evans is on film, I never lost sight of the fact that he was Steve Rogers and not Johnny Storm. So Chris Evans brought his A game. I can't wait to see what this actor does next. He's shown that he has range, and that he has chops, and that there's probably nothing now that he can do where I'll feel like, oh, he can't do this. Chris Evans has won me over. He won me over in the Fantastic Four playing Johnny Storm, where I thought that, pretty much anything he'd play after that, he'd be sort of a sarcastic, wisecracking kind of guy, no matter what he played. But Captain America showed me that the guy can actually act, and big props to Chris Evans for turning in a masterful performance. And I think that's pretty much it. I would suggest, if you're a comic book fan, even if you're not a Captain America fan, definitely consider seeing this movie. If you're not a comic book fan, but you like movies that are idealistic, I would say also really consider seeing this movie. It is top notch. It is, though with flaws, that which makes this movie great will have you overlook most, if not all, of the flaws. And there's nothing so wrong with this movie that is not corrected by what is so right with it. And with that, I'll leave this off. Until next time, night out.